Welcome to Economics Topic 2. Today we're going to start 2.1, which is addressing the three key economic questions. And these are questions that every society must answer. So we're going to talk about those. We're going to describe economic goals that determine how societies answer these three economic questions. And then we're also going to talk about characteristics of a traditional economy. Now, for our vocabulary terms, remember, about 80% of your tests are vocabulary because if you know those, you can kind of put them together and the rest is common sense. So an economic system is the structure of methods and principles that a society uses to produce and distribute goods and services. Okay, this is not politics. This is separate. Can be influenced by politics, but this is the structure of the methods and principles to distribute goods and services. Factor payments. This is income people receive in return for supplying factors of production. Now, this could be where I sell you lumber from my land if I own a whole bunch of land, or food if I'm a farmer. If you have a job, you're receiving a factor payment, which is your paycheck because you are supplying human capital, labor. Profit. This is the amount of money a business receives in excess of its expenses. If you've taken accounting, you know revenue minus expenses equals profit. Safety net. We have several government programs that are in place to protect people in unfavorable economic conditions. We have welfare, we have food stamps, we have unemployment insurance. Standard of living, this is going to be something that's measured as a level of economic prosperity. And you kind of hear this about, are we living with the same standard of living as our parents did at our age? Will our children have the same standard of living? Innovation, this is when you get like a new idea or a new way to do something, or you come up with a new product that people want. Innovation goes a lot with entrepreneurship because if you can innovate and create some new method or new product, then you can turn into an entrepreneur and market that. Now, traditional economy. This is an economic system that relies on habit, custom, or ritual to decide the three basic economic questions. Previous definitions or in other places, you'll see religion in there. And again, religion falls under habit, custom, or ritual. And we see that in a lot of countries overseas where in Europe, they shut down for an hour. Everybody does for an hour to take a rest. There's certain countries where at certain times of the day, everybody has to stop and they have to pray. Their economy is built around that so that people can do that. And again, it relies on that. In the United States, we have some traditional aspects in our economy. I mean, look at Christmas. Everybody's running out and buying gifts. Right. Valentine's Day, everybody's going to be buying more flowers. Easter, plastic Easter eggs, things like that. So we have some aspects, but we don't rely on that for our economy. Now, when we go to a supermarket, especially Walmart, you see just shelves stacked with all kinds of stuff. But what if for cereal you were only allowed Cheerios? Or soap, you were only allowed one brand of soap? How would you feel? And through COVID-19, I think some of us have gotten an understanding of that. I know for me, I'm used to things being available when I go to Walmart. And there were points in times when there were empty shelves. And toilet paper, I mean, you almost had to take exactly what toilet paper was available for sale, not the brand you preferred. And so that's a challenge. So the three basic economic questions are what, how, and who, or for whom. What goods and services should be produced? How should they be produced? And for whom? This is what every economy has to decide. Okay, what are we going to produce? How are we going to produce it? And then who are they for? Is it for the citizens of our country? Is it so that we can export? Is it for our military? Things like that. This is a little food vendor. And like if you look at it, it's like tater taco, bacon the tater, bacon the chick. I don't know. I can't read all those. But the person that started this young lady, if this is hers, she had to decide how, what is she going to produce? Obviously, this is taco stuff. How is she going to produce it? Well, obviously, she might pre-mix it, but she has it there in the stand where she can put it all together. And for whom? Well, if she's a street vendor, she is targeting people that work in this metropolis city on their lunch hour and those that want a quick bite to eat, not somebody that wants a sit-down meal. Here is a way to answer 3 basic economic questions. We're going to take 2 farmers. One is old school, one is modern. The top one is the old school. He doesn't want to invest in modern technology. It's expensive. Tractors can be $750,000 to $1 million. So he's going to do it the way he's always done it, by hand, with hand tools. Both farmers have 1 acre of land, but you can see with hand tools, it's going to take 56 worker hours. He's got cheap capital, though, just rakes, wheelbarrows, buckets. And the production is going to be, it yields 15 bushels of wheat. Okay. But if we take that same acre of land and invest in a tractor, it's only going to be 2.9 hours. And it yields 40 bushels of wheat. Now, you might do the math on this, and by the time you pay off the tractor, you're netting the same amount of money for 15 bushels of wheat as you do for 40. But if you're the farmer, look at this 2.9 hours. Would you have a lot more time with your kids for the same amount of money? Your wife? Do the things you love, go hunting, who knows? Now, different societies answer these 3 economic questions based on the importance that they attach to various economic goals. And the goals identified are efficiency, freedom, security, equity, and growth. And societies vary in this. In the United States, we really value freedom, okay? In a communist society, they're going to value equity. Does everybody have a home? And that kind of makes people pursue it. Security, communist society, people have their basic needs met. Their wants aren't addressed, but their basic needs are addressed: food, clothing, shelter. Growth, do you want your economy to grow? Retailers have turned to the internet, and especially through the pandemic, the internet has really been a saving grace for people to still be able to sell stuff and social distance. The internet can help achieve this idea of efficiency because, again, I can look up on a store and see if you have my size, if you have what I want, if you have the color, you can ship it to me. It's very efficient. I can compare prices, decide who I want to buy from. Now, this is something we'll talk about later on in other topics as well, but this is changes in economic equity. And when we look at the median household income, we have separated Americans into 5 quintiles. We have the lowest 20%, so that's the 20% of Americans that make the lowest amount of money, and then the second lowest, third, and so on. So if you look at this with a mean household income, you can see the richest people in America are increasing their income at a much faster pace than the other 4 quintiles. This is a very big, huge political hot topic. The rich are getting richer and the poor are getting poorer, if you've heard that. And this is an example of it. Even this second highest, you can see, here's a little algebra for you. The slopes look very similar. The lowest 20%, that slope's almost at 0. It's not increasing much. Here, we've almost got a slope of 1. We're getting closer to 1 here. And that's something that a lot of economists look at, politicians do. My personal take on this is, if I was making $1 million as a school teacher, would I have a lot of money to invest? Yes. So if I have a lot of disposable income left over and I can invest it, then I'm going to be making more money off my investments. If I'm down here and I'm barely squeaking by, and at the end of each month, I've just broken even, I don't have money to invest. So it's a lot harder to increase your income. And that is the end of 2.1. Hope you enjoyed it. And I will see you for the next lesson.